morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. See Miss Valerie, Mr. Katonia, Keisha. Let's see y'all. Coach Cheese. What's going on, bro? It's Elise. Simone. Hey, Simone. Good morning again, everybody. Welcome to Unscripted, where we just discuss it right off the top. We don't premeditate on it. We just take it right out the oven and just eat it right there on the spot. Good, Nola. Go ahead and jump on into this. So this morning's topic, pretty much, the young lady, I told her my protocol is I really don't get into a discussion about what the topic is. I ask people to send me the question. I like to do it that way. If you send me the question, and then when I open it before you all, I just go right into it. But if I get into too much of a discussion beforehand, I had too many premeditated thoughts. I don't want to do that. So pretty much what I summed up from what she was saying, and I'm sure you women, this is a common plight for the ladies. So brothers, we need to listen up to and see, how they be thinking about this. But pretty much she's saying that he's not my type, but he's so nice. I'll go to the read real quick. So this is a person that supports, she has watched my previous shows on Unique Perspectives and the Hot Seat with P Coffee. So to make a long story short, it says he's not my type, but he is so nice. She says, I watch your evening shows and I am dating a local Steve. LOL. I'll explain local Steve after this. I am used to hood boys with old school cars, loud music, a pocket full of cash, and willing to blow it all in one night. Hood boys screw and get up. My guy likes to spoon and cuddle. Bad boys take you out and buy you fancy dinners and drinks. My guy takes me shopping and gives me his MasterCard. Understand what the problem is. My type likes rough sex. My guy makes love every single time the same way. My guy doesn't have a lot of swag. He doesn't drink, curse, or smoke, but he is very romantic, extremely considerate, makes sure I have everything I need. Hood boys don't buy flowers and cards or write love letters. He is just an all-around nice guy. He will give you the shirt off his back, loves to come home and stay out of the streets and clubs. I have strong feelings for him, but there just seems to be something missing. I know society says nice guys finish last, or women like bad boys. I don't want to be one of those women that doesn't know a good guy when she meets him. However, there is an element of ghetto I need. Do I just need to get used to a different kind of guy? I really like him, but I don't want to hurt or misuse him either. I don't know if I can be completely happy with a good guy. Wow. You guys heard that, but here's the thing. This is not anything new under the sun, as I'm sure the ladies probably can tell you. Women have been, hit on by several guys, or went out on dates or started dating people that were nice, but not typically in their typical dating element. So, thus we have, so it sounds like what the young lady is saying is she needs some thugs in her life. So this is the thing. I feel like we need to understand really what ghetto, too nice, bougie, whatever types of guys, how you guys name them. This is the important thing to understand. I'll start with the thug first. Thugs are men of environment. Thugs come up in an environment where they may have had a short reach of certain things, and so they learn to adapt to their environment. They do what they got to do by any means necessary. In some cases, we're going to beat you down, rob you, do everything else, whatever, to get what we need for our environment. So you're right. So it's a lot of great people, a lot of great, good-hearted people in the hood. The problem is not where they come from. It's whether or not the person you are in love with or whatever, if he's the person to evolve. Like, what good is it to love it or like anybody in any environment if they never ever change? Like, if you went to high school and you and Pookie was high school lovers, and at 20 he was selling drugs and doing everything for you, but guess what? At 50, if he's still selling drugs, is that good or no? At 50, I mean, you got to ask yourself, because this is a thing where I think we get caught up on these stereotypes, because really, whether somebody's good, I mean, look, it's like women will tell you, oh, I love a man in uniform. That's what a thug is. A man in a costume. Don't make him, you can't see his heart. You can't see the measure of somebody's heart, whether or not they, what they made of. Because trust me, I've seen plenty of occasions where a regular dude, as you call a local Steve, I saw a local Steve whoop a hood dude behind. So it ain't got nothing to do, what really makes any man a little, like you said, a little edge or hood in him is his response to adversity, his response in defense of his family and those things he loves. That's when you see what you got. When you, trust me, women get it twisted. You may think because he packaged one way and he ain't got cornrows and 50 tattoos, well, guess what? A lot of them dudes be gay. Trust me. So the point is, you see all these people and you get twisted by what we see, and we want to be walking inside a label. Oh, he's trendy. He looks like this particular actor and rapper and this person or whatever, and the person may be covered a certain way, tatted all up. Guess what? A lot of those things are smoke signals to hide what's wrong with people internally. That's why they overmask themselves. So it doesn't mean, if you just want to lay down beside somebody that's going to give you a mirage physically that you can see, have at it. But it doesn't make them a better man than other men. And so it's not a good thing for anybody to just become accustomed to a stereotype of a person. Okay, you like a little hood. Everybody likes a little edge, okay, a little bit of something, but you got to know how to look between the balance, because guess what? Rough edges cut. Rough edges scratched, poke, hurt. Just, you get my drift? Rough edges poke. How many of y'all know the ghetto dudes poke? You can get the right one, and you say something else, slick out the mouth. He gonna say, forget that it's October abuse month. We got to get it in. So that's what happened. And so here's Local Steve. This is the Local Steve breakdown. One time on the show, I was on the show with P Coffee, and we were talking about this good guy type syndrome. And I was telling them that sometimes the Local Steve guy is the guy that's really just trying to come straight. He don't have a lot of pizzazz. He may be boring, okay? He might have a good job. He has a lot of good things, but he just don't have those aggressions that women like beyond the surface. Women like a guy that can be a little take charge. He got a little bit of, swag to him. And let's just be honest. They like a man who can go behind the doors, and when they come out, they fanning themselves and sweating. But anyway, so all I'm saying is this. It doesn't mean a good guy doesn't possess that. Your stereotype can block you from even thinking, trust me, you might go out with Local Steve and he may be a little boring, but guess what? You may go by his house one day and see Local Steve on the side of his roof, fixing the roof, cutting the grass. He may be doing something very, very masculine that might turn you on. You never know. But then one day you're going to go see the hood guy that you like. You're going to go over his house one day and maybe you see him in the back. You're going to see him in the back crying because somebody punched him in the face. But that goes against your stereotype because he's supposed to be hard. So nobody going to punch you in the face and you cry. That ain't hard, right? So all those things it's all in your mind of what you liking. And so with this woman, she was saying that, I've heard this so much, and it used to irritate me when I hear people say, he's too nice. Well, what do you really want? Shouldn't a man respect you? Or should he just call you B, What time I'm seeing you at lunchtime, B? Look, shut up before I punch you in your face. I mean, what do you really want? I mean, do you want somebody nice that's going to respect you or not? This thing right here, it just baffles me because, you know, I have been in a position myself where I said to myself, because I used to would kind of be dating a certain type, and that certain type just didn't fare well. And I used to ask myself, what is it about you that has to have something difficult? Why can't you simply have somebody that you deserve and they are good to you? Why does it have to have all of this and all this fighting, all the drama? I mean, it's like in our lives, we get accustomed to some really, really dysfunctional stuff, and we end up desiring it for our life in the future. And that's really, we got to ask ourselves, do I want to live this polluted life simply because of my flesh? Or do I really want to take my glasses off and say, look, I can see this person for who they are. They're a good person. We can talk and communicate around a lot of things, but you're not going to always find, in this day and time, you are not going to always find a nice woman or man. People are now wearing the scars of their past. And people got some serious issues. They got emotional issues. They have, you got people who don't have no respect for you. You got guys today. You got men today that forget about, you want to go on a date. They'll take you on the date, and when you're on the date, they're gonna be like, so, you know, hey, we're gonna slide by my man place after this. We're gonna, you know, be over there and chill, get a little drink, a little this, that, and the other. And guess what? You get over there, and the plan is for all them to run on you. That's the game nowadays. You got that, or you got the people who go. I mean, look, this game today is straight out. Women will tell you too. You try to go out, the person gonna tell you flat out, so after this, we're gonna go to the hotel tonight, right? Forget about the romantic plan and all this and the progression of getting to know you. It's straight to the hole today. They being like Jordan, and just first day and they just first hour, whatever, they want to slam dunk. So that's where people are in the mindset today. So you got to think about that when you are considering somebody. Kind of, do you feel, should you not, I need somebody with all these different things. You got to ask yourself, why am I accustomed? Number one, why am I accustomed to dysfunction? And why do I have to prefer it over decency? Why am I accustomed to dysfunction, and why do I prefer it over decency? Because it sounds like this guy, let me tell you something. If a guy gives you his MasterCard and he ain't your husband, now I'm gonna have to have a conversation with him, but still, he ain't your husband, but he giving you the MasterCard and you saying that he's too nice. I mean, do you know that attached to a man's, I mean, if he's giving you his finances, he is giving you his keys. Trust that. He's giving you his finances, he's giving you his keys. Other than that, men, he ain't going to give you nothing. Because we associate giving with trust. Now, don't get me wrong, shouldn't be too trusting. And I would probably tell the guy, don't be giving nobody no card unless you get to know them a little bit. You really into it. Y'all got some time in the game, but just don't be giving nobody no credit card. Not in this day and time. Her side dude to have your card number. But anyway, so I mean, it's just we gotta be wiser, y'all. We got to be wiser. We gotta just keep on overlooking people because they're just not nice and all this. I mean, look, I get it. I'm not gonna tell nobody about. Because people, when it comes down to in our age group, in that mid 30s and up, people are less inclined to settle up with somebody who don't do it for them. And whatever that do it for you thing is, everybody know. I have a good idea. But the point is, if you don't do it for somebody, especially if the physical game is not what they like, people are not going to waste time. They might go out with you, they may sit across the table and take your money and eat your food, but they're going to go right on home after the date is off, cut short, and they're going to go right on over there to the nearest housing projects where he lives and see him. And that's going to be it. And then he's going to spend the night at his house after you done wined and dined her. He's going to finish off the evening because you're too nice. So that's the truth of it. But it's not a good look. I'm not saying anybody whether you from the hood, whether you got a boy with a gold spoon in your mouth, that shouldn't determine the kind of happiness that you have. It shouldn't. But at the same time, I just think we have to, as women, y'all got to get past this stereotype stuff and that makes you feel secure because the person got a gun in the trunk. And you feel secure because they'll likely kill somebody if they say something about me. That's not functional. Why would somebody want to go to jail for I ain't laying down my life for somebody laying my wife? So I mean, look, I'll protect you, but guess what? If you put me in a position that I didn't warrant, you know what? So dude at your lunchtime said you had a fat butt. I'm about to kill him so I could be locked up. No. So my point is, we got to get beyond that, man. We got to. Because I'm telling you, man, y'all women, y'all can get us men into some situations. Especially if a man is trying to rise to the occasion to impress you. No, it's not worth all that. So my point is, look, stop doing this dysfunctional stuff. There's many women out here today that are single. A lot of women out here that are single. So to hear a woman that's got a man in her face doing all this for her, and she's saying that he's too nice. I mean, you got a whole load of women that's ready for a guy, but you saying he's too nice. No, that's just, I just think that we got to be better than that. We got to start, thinking with a different set of values. I think we are thinking with a limited set of values, and that's hurting us because we're only thinking, from what our friends are going to say. Oh, girl, he's cute. See how he do his hair so long, all down to his neck. He got these kind of locks and all this, and he got this and all this. It's all fine, but it's all costume. It's a costume. I can't tell you enough. It is a costume. So we out here getting accustomed to costumes, not men. Your type is a costume, not a man. So we got to stop tripping off these costumes and the visual effect and really get attracted to somebody's heart. Because nowadays, if you're going to find somebody that got a rare heart to do all these things, if you got a man that's nice and got some, he done learned some morals and his mother or father raised him well, you need somebody that's going to raise your children with him well. You need that. You don't need somebody that's going to just be, that's just because he come outside in his costume. Okay, I gotta keep saying, come on. He always caught in his costume and he's looking like this. That's where you think the term. I say that before. Remember when 50 Cent was getting on Ja Rule? He was calling Ja Rule a wankster because 50 was saying, I got the real battle scars. You just dressed in costume. That's pretty much what the whole argument was about. He was trying to say, you pretending to be hard, but I really, really was hard. So that's my point is we got to look beyond these costumes and just look at the heart of the person. Because I'm telling you, men, it don't make, a man is not made whether or not he's from the hood or not, or whether or not he was a super bougie guy, overly privileged, whatever. That don't make him. Again, what makes him is his response to adversity and his response in defense of the things he loves. That's when you see a man, what he's made of, and how he respects you. You don't get none of those three things, you just dealing with a clown. That's just the truth. So we got to look beyond these things and take life a little more serious if you really want something, more detailed out of it. Because like I said, it's just when I saw this story, I was ready to do another story that was it was very dramatic. But the reason I did this one is because when this came in, I was thinking, it just said, this is why a lot of women are single. Because of this thinking, this pre-programmed thinking, we are associating feelings and what somebody can do, and I need a little bit of rough so he can so and do this, that, and the other. Let me tell y'all a quick story. I probably shouldn't say this. You are gonna make it fun, but anyway, years ago. See, here's the deception. How do I say this? For myself, okay, I can say this. I'm going to keep it 100. Now, when you got a resume, when somebody submit their resume for a job, it has your history on it. They're going to ask you, but even it has, things you've done in the past, your qualifications, your credentials, your education, whatever. Then they're going to hone in on what you've been doing lately, the last 3 years, whatever. So I say that to say, this is the misconception about hood, good, overly privileged, whatever, soft, whatever you call men today. So on paper, my resume makes me a bad boy. My resume. We're talking about history. You remember history. But my lifestyle makes me good. So my point is, remember, so my history is all subliminal. Because trust me, there's some folks that can probably say, that nigga was bad. He is terrible. Resume can be bad on the streets. But my lifestyle would deceive you, because it ain't like that. Because I separate the two. But I'm just telling you that people can be deceived by what's bad and what's not or whatever. You don't really know. So the point I'm saying is, I'm gonna tell you this quick story. I'm gonna go. Some time ago, I want to say I was probably in my late 20s, and me and my friend, we guys, when you're a little young, you talking about sex with your friends and what you do and all these things like this. Is there any church people on there? I don't want them telling the pastor. But anyway, so back then, I remember this story. I remember I was dealing with this girl, and we was in the motion. And the girl told me, I'm just doing me regular. This probably the turning point in my life when it comes to this sort of thing. She gonna tell me she wanted it rough. And I said, so I said, all right, you want it, that's it. So I went in my brain, I said, all right, it is what it is. I had some ideas of some things that me and my friends back then had talked about and laughed and this, that, and other. Fine. So I remember us joking, and ladies, let me tell y'all this. Back in the day, we would talk about this. Back in the day, we would talk about putting our hands on the neck in the midst of the situation. If Jason, you laugh, you know what I'm talking about. No, you put your hands on the neck, right? So that hand incites some things in the woman if you do it correctly. I'll say it correctly, because back then I probably didn't do it correctly. But back then, Bruce, you crazy. So look, I'm with the chick, and back then, when she said the rough part, first thing came to my mind, oh, okay. So I applied too much pressure back then. And the girl, I kid you not, the girl almost fainted. And I was like this, and then when I was shaking her, I thought I was going to leave the house and run. But anyway, when she came to, I said, now, you let this be the last time you tell a man you want something rough. But anyway, so to make a long story short, I said that to say, sometimes we get accustomed to things and we want people to love on us in ways that we have issues in. And when that lady said that to me, as young as we were back then, and you tell somebody at that age group to be rough, you got some psychological problems. Some problems in the past, some home, and all these different things, to the point that if we can't appreciate normalcy, something is wrong. And we got to check ourselves and say, I get it. Some of this, as I grew to be older, yeah, I've seen it all, done it all, whatever. I get all that. However, when we get accustomed to some of these wild things, we got to question as to why they are present. I know they may do whatever and take you to other levels and all this, but some of this stuff, it's just not functional life. It ain't good. It ain't. Some of the stuff that we like and do, and oh my God, can you just make sure I get stitches in my arm, cut me? Like, the heck is this? This ain't loving. This is murder. But no, so we gotta get past this crazy stuff and identify good people for who they are. Stop saying I need him to be super bad and crazy and all these things, and just say, listen, I need a guy with a basically, you better get a guy with a good heart. You need a guy with some compassion, empathy. He needs to care. He needs to be able to lead you. You better think past these physical things. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I'll be the first to tell you, I'm probably non-negotiable in certain areas, but still, nonetheless, I'm not over the top. I'm reasonable. I'll prefer, my lady, we good. So, but the point is, in some situations, people be with people and you just like, people come walking up on me. People be with situations with people and you just be like, you get all into this physical stuff, and I get it. It's all fine. Everybody has their thing that do it for them and turn them out, turn them on. But I would challenge you to think, and if you're that person that's watching, and you got a whole lot of prerequisites that to satisfy or to keep you content, and if they're slightly dysfunctional, you need to question why. And is it fair to punish a decent person simply because they like you. He likes you, and he wants to show you by being generous, by being cool. He's low key. She said earlier she liked the guy he take her out to these high places, spend all this money in one night and go. Well, is that gonna be a person that can pay the mortgage on time, or he gonna probably give you the money to pay until he get locked up? Now, what's that gonna be? You got to think about those things. And then she said the guy, he's always out, mysterious. You don't know if he's gonna make it home or get the 12 o'clock call that he got shot. But the other guy is in the house. So last I remember in relationships, when you can't even get a phone call, you out in the street or you still out, it could be 12 o'clock, a lady say, ask you why you still out. So if you got a guy that just out and he ain't home, period, he just out in the street doing his street duty, is that what you need in your life? And that's what you got to ask yourself. We get too caught up in all this good guy, bad guy, and he's too soft, he's too nice. All of it is relative. Trust me, all of it is relative, because you can catch a good guy on the wrong day, and you gonna think he a thug. You can catch a thug on the wrong day, you're gonna think he's soft. So it's all relative. Stop getting into these costumes. If you see two men standing there, one may be tatted up, one may not be. One may have a fade, one may have locks. One may have his badge for his job in his hand. The other one got to black him out or some weed in his hand. So does that make him less relative because he's not in costume and looking risque? No. It looks like one guy made better choices. We got to look at it like that. A lot of men out here are single. There's a lot of guys that are single because they are deemed the nice guy, and it makes them frustrated, and it makes them want to turn bad. Because it's like, guess what? If the masses can't appreciate decency, then I'm not going to give it to them. You can't appreciate me being a decent guy, I'm not going to be that. I'm going to be what you want me to be, and you ain't going to like it. Trust me. I know. Let me tell you, if I were not in a relationship, and if I was just out in the street, and if I was sent out like I was in the past, I was not a good guy. Now, I wasn't no abusive guy. I ain't never ever laid a hand on a woman, nothing like that in physically. But psychologically, I probably did some abusing psychologically with that manipulation and all those things. Yeah, all that. And then I just was not available, and I was not allowing you past the barrier. So if you was gonna come to that barrier, I was like, you don't appreciate good. Because my early on experience in life was when I was good, it wasn't appreciated. You get that, okay, he's just too nice. I said, oh, guess what? There is another side that you don't know. So I'll introduce you to that person. So then I flipped the script, and I just became a different person. I was never that nice guy again until I brought him back. But the point is, that's what I mean. Good guys can get ruined because you don't appreciate what they're trying to give you. Let a man be a man. Stop chasing costumes. Stop chasing tattoos and images, and look for the heart of a person. This person right here, this woman, she's at least a little on the fence. Hopefully she can be reached if she's watching. I think she is. Hopefully you can be reached. You sound like you got some fight to try, but trust me, I know you like the hood, but let's be honest. In most cities today, the hoods are being torn down. They got all these new regentrified houses. Don't even look the same. So most of the guys, what made them real hood, because their situations where they live was deplorable. Now they got nice, those loft-looking buildings. Is he still gonna look hard coming out the loft? So anyway, get your minds together and pick wisely. Pick wisely. Stop doing this picking stuff based off of Belly, the movie Belly, and you saw DMX humping the girl in the room, acting like he's some hoodlum. Anyway, get your stuff out your mind, and a man can do anything you ask him to. Tell him, I want you to do this. Tell a good guy that he gonna tell him, look, do what you gotta do. If you gotta go into character, put on your Superman cape. Do what you need to do. But you can challenge a man to respond however that you like. But don't just give up on him because he's a good guy. Challenge him and see what all men are bred to be multifaceted in different ways. So you just have to be wise enough to tap into the part of him that you need. So don't just go off of, don't go off of costume. Don't go off of that. Just go off of who this guy is. What is he really made of? And choose accordingly. Don't just keep doing all this. Well, yeah, Tavon father is, he's still inside. And then the other one, I need a little crazy. Why? Do you want to get killed? Stop desiring crazy and start desiring normal. Ask God, pray to God to just say, prepare my heart. Ask God to prepare your heart for the things and the person that's best to complement your life. Not these weird desires and crazy things. Just ask God for that. And you got to know that whoever he delivers to you, guess what? He may have a little edge to him. He just may be reformed. He may be a reformed dude. So you get the best of both worlds. You got a good dude, but he got a little edge to him because he's been there, done that. So it's all relative to how you look at it. But don't just go out here saying, oh, I need a little bit of this, or I'm not going to be able to deal. Because then all you're going to do is have a whole resume of a bunch of hood dudes. So anyway, again, it's nothing against hood dudes. I got plenty of partners that was hood dudes. Matter of fact, in D.C., I grew up right across the street from a notorious hood, right across the street. I could throw a rock to it. So I know plenty of them. So the point is, they're good folks. But I'm just saying, what makes everybody good and what makes a dude good is how he evolves from his environment. If he stays there, what good is it if you're not trying to challenge yourself as a man to come up out of it the best you can? And I get it. We got to do what we got to do, whether that means sell drugs, do all these things. Sometimes men do what they got to do to get food on their table. I get it. But the plan is to evolve, not to remain and stay there. Because these women are choosing the men based off of where they are. And if the man hasn't evolved, you shouldn't be considering them. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, yes, Noda, we got to, adjust the self-esteem. That's really what it is. So you guys have a great day. And I'll be back tomorrow at 8:15. Thanks for tuning in and giving me your time. I'm probably a little bit over time. God, let me get out of here. All right, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bruce, I'll get at you later on, sir. All right.